more data manipulation than people who are coming from the optimization or operational research background. I personally prefer working with operational research people. I actually hired 2 of them in my team. But for research. For implementation, that's another story. Because it depends how you are good in the set of skills that I showed you. If you are good, it doesn't matter from which background you're coming. For the industry. For academia, maybe getting a graduate program, that's another story. But if you want to come to the field, we don't care about the background. I have people in my team from mechanical engineering. I have people from computer science, from software engineering. Myself, I'm from statistics. And we couldn't hire somebody from humanity and literature yet. But maybe that skill is useful for NLP. If they know how to program, we can use their skills from the human language side and then enhance the algorithms. What's going on now is that everybody is from engineering domain, so they don't understand the grammar and what's going on in the language. For instance, that could be one of the cases that we could hire. But whoever applies for us from non-technical background, they fail our coding test. So that's the first step. I myself from university, when I
manufacturing and transportation, etc. The other thing is that if you don't have the skills, like the horizontal skills, you'd better go and get it, like registering to continuing education programs such as McGill, Concordia, or some online programs out there. And then you need to do some sort of project to make it better, deeper, so that you can show it to your interview and employer that you know that skills of running code on a project and what sort of learning outcome you've learned. Yes?
Just to add, Jeff, like I said, I'm from Concordia. We're working on these programs where we're integrating training with partnerships with employers, so that there are internships or mentorships or some sort of integration after training to actually work into the workforce after the training.
So let's go to the next question. Yes?
I didn't realize what is the difference between a position like a machine learning engineer or machine learning researcher. There are just keywords that I can't distinguish the difference.
Is the question for me? So
yeah, because you had the presentation.
So it's a bit unfair to Alireza because he didn't present, and so whatever goes to Alireza's expertise, he must get the upper hand, so that we lose his knowledge in this panel too. So I think that I didn't talk about data engineer position. So there's a data engineer position with its own set of skills. There's a data scientist position. These are the major ones. There are some other related. The title in industry is very broad. Everybody defines his own position. We have a business intelligence position. We have data analytics position. There are many different, I think, equivalent terms exist. So maybe data engineering with data scientists is more foundation for data scientists than data engineers. Data engineering is more implementation skills. The same goes for machine learning engineer with machine learning researcher. We don't have a machine learning scientist, so I myself am a research scientist, machine learning research scientist position. It's not common, but some people may define it. It's, I think, variety of term, but engineer and researcher, mostly implementation of machine learning versus more foundation, so you become more researcher. That's how it's a consensus in industry, but it's not, I think, general. When you get the interview, you have to ask the interviewers what do they expect and how do they define this role. Don't trust the title. I think in industry, the main thing is that don't trust anything you see, just ask. Because everybody have its own definition and have their own terminology. So you start talking to industry, I think in contrary to people in academia that explain everything, everything is abbreviated and acronyms. I myself don't know acronyms that exist in machine learning and AI myself, because people start talking and presuming that everybody knows the acronyms. So you have to ask. I think the main question for me is that if you're a fit for a role, look at the description, look at your CV, match them, and then if you get the interview, ask the interviewers. And I have another
example in the cancer detection, right? We need pathologists, we need radiologists, but we don't have enough of them. And there are loads of data that can be unseen to human eyes, but machine can't see them, right? Nowadays we use machine learning for detecting some features in spectroscopic signals. Spectroscopy is basically a method that we shine light into the organ and we grasp the illumination of light, and then depending, because the photons of the light has some energy and they shine the energy to the organ, and the molecules start vibrating, and depending on the molecule, they have different vibrations and they have different illumination. And then depending on this illumination, we can see what material here is. And then by knowing some features, we can detect if it's cancer or if it's not, right? But from person to person, these features are different. And then we need a machine to find similarities between healthy cells and cancerous cells. And this is where AI is coming from. And the other important area for AI is segmentation. For example, the image coming from MRI or from CT, we need to segment it to annotate which area belongs to which tissue, and then to detect if there are some issue with the image or not.
Can you build up on that question? So is there a lot of startups in Montreal that work on health, specifically health industry with machine learning that we can work with? Because you specifically talk about optic and imaging, but there are, like, for example, detection of diseases, machine learning through data and all that.
I know a few of them. For instance, I know OES, which is basically designing optical probes, but the optical probes, for the detection purpose, you need AI techniques to validate and also characterize the cancer. I know another company called Photon ETC. Basically, they are doing manufacturing. They are designing basically optical instrumentation. But for optical instrumentation, you need AI engineers, and they have some collaboration. Of course, there are.
And I'm aware of Innovi Health, which is a startup here, and they try to get the data from hospitals and bring machine learning to healthcare, but the scope is not like centered. Therefore, it's difficult to grow as a startup. I don't know what has happened. Maybe